A veterinarian uncovers a shocking secret about two dogs about to be euthanized, leading her to risk everything to expose a scandal that almost went unnoticed. The outcome left the entire city speechless. Nestled along the picturesque coastline of Oregon, the Seaside Second Chance Animal Shelter stands as a beacon of hope for elderly and ailing pets. The shelter, a converted Victorian-era mansion, sits atop a grassy bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Its weathered blue clapboard exterior and white trim evoke a sense of maritime charm, while the wraparound porch offers a perfect vantage point for watching the rolling waves and misty horizons. Inside, the shelter buzzes with a quiet energy. The scent of pine-scented cleaner mingles with the unmistakable aroma of dog biscuits and cat food. Soft classical music plays throughout the building, a soothing backdrop to the occasional bark or meow. Sunlight streams through large bay windows, casting warm pools of light on the worn hardwood floors where senior dogs doze in plush beds. In a corner of the main living area, two distinguished canines catch the eye. Max, a graying Labrador retriever with soulful brown eyes, rests his chin on his paws. His companion, Bella, a striking Siberian husky with a salt and pepper coat, sits regally beside him. Despite their advanced years, both dogs exude an air of quiet dignity and watchfulness, as if still on duty. LDU. Dr. Sarah Thompson, the shelter's chief veterinarian, moves among the animals with practiced ease. Her gentle hands and soft voice bring comfort to her charges, but there's a hint of worry in her eyes as she glances at Max and Bella. The weight of a difficult decision hangs in the air, unspoken but palpable. Outside, the wind picks up, carrying with it the tang of salt and the distant rumble of thunder. Storm clouds gather on the horizon, a portent of the tumultuous events to come, mirroring the emotional journey about to unfold within the shelter's walls. Dr. Sarah Thompson, a woman in her early 50s with salt and pepper hair tied back in a neat bun, adjusts her wire-rimmed glasses as she reviews the medical charts of Max and Bella. Her face, lined with years of compassionate care, reflects a mix of concern and determination. Sarah's journey from a small-town vet to the head of Seaside Second Chance has been driven by her unwavering dedication to animal welfare. Max, the 12-year-old Labrador retriever, watches Sarah with doleful brown eyes. His once glossy black coat is now peppered with grey, particularly around his muzzle. Despite his arthritic hips, evidenced by his stiff gait, Max's tail still wags gently at Sarah's approach. His powerful chest and muscular build hint at a past filled with more than just fetch and walks on the beach. Bella, the 11-year-old Siberian husky, sits alertly next to Max. Her striking blue eyes, though slightly clouded with age, scan the room with keen interest. Her black and white coat, while thinning in places, still gleams in the sunlight streaming through the windows. Bella's erect ears twitch at every sound, a reminder of her former life of heightened awareness and responsibility. As Sarah kneels beside them, both dogs lean into her touch, seeking comfort. The bond between the vet and these two special canines is palpable, forged through years of care and a shared secret of their extraordinary past. Enter Jack O'Connor, a rugged man in his late 50s, whose weather-beaten face and calloused hands speak of a lifetime spent in the great outdoors. As the former head of the local search and rescue team, Jack's piercing green eyes hold a wealth of experience and a hint of sadness. He stops by the shelter regularly, drawn by a connection to Max and Bella that goes beyond mere fondness. Olivia Chen, a sprightly woman in her early 70s, volunteers at the shelter 3 times a week. Her petite frame belies a strength born from surviving the region's worst natural disaster a decade ago. Olivia's almond-shaped eyes crinkle with warmth as she tends to the animals, but they hold a special sparkle when she interacts with Max and Bella. As Sarah discusses the dog's condition with Jack and Olivia, a newcomer enters the scene. Tom Harrison, a tenacious investigative journalist in his 40s, arrives at the shelter under the pretense of writing a human interest story. His sharp, inquisitive gaze takes in every detail of the room, lingering on Max and Bella. There's an undercurrent of purpose in his movements that suggests he's after more than just a feel-good piece about senior dogs. The group's interaction is a mix of familiarity and tension, with unspoken histories and shared concerns hanging in the air. As they converge around Max and Bella, it's clear that these two canines are at the center of a story that's about to unfold, one that will challenge and change each of them. As the group huddles around Max and Bella, a sudden clap of thunder shakes the shelter's windows. The dogs' ears perk up, their bodies tensing as if responding to a long-forgotten call. In that moment, Sarah's phone buzzes with an urgent news alert. Severe storms are causing flash floods along the coast, with several hikers reported missing in the nearby state park. Jack's phone rings immediately after. His face grows grim as he listens to the voice on the other end. "They're activating all available search and rescue personnel," he announces, his voice tight with concern. As if on cue, both Max and Bella struggle to their feet, their postures alert despite their physical limitations. Their eyes lock onto Sarah, conveying a silent plea that she immediately understands. As the gravity of the situation sinks in, the dynamics between the characters intensify. Sarah, torn between her duty as a veterinarian and her understanding of Max and Bella's past, paces the room. Her usually calm demeanor gives way to visible distress. "They're not fit for rescue work anymore," she argues, her voice strained. "The strain could kill them." Jack, however, sees a glimmer of the dog's former selves in their alert postures. He kneels beside Max, running a hand over the lab's graying muzzle. "These two have more experience than half our current team combined," he muses, his tone a mix of pride and concern. "If they could just help with scent work." Olivia, still shaken by the flood warning, finds herself drawn to Bella. As she strokes the husky's fur, memories of her own rescue a decade ago flood back. "They saved me," she says softly, her eyes misting over. "When I was trapped in my house during the big flood, it was Max and Bella who found me. I owe them my life." Tom, sensing a bigger story unfolding, starts to piece together the connections. "Wait, these dogs were part of the rescue team during the Great Flood of 2013? He asks, his reporter's instinct kicking in. "But I thought all the rescue dogs from that operation had been accounted for in the official reports." The room falls silent, save for the pounding rain outside. Sarah and Jack exchange a loaded glance, realizing that the carefully guarded secret of Max and Bella's past is about to unravel. The tension in the room builds as Sarah grapples with her professional ethics and her deep connection to Max and Bella. Her eyes dart between the dogs and the storm raging outside. "Even if I wanted to let them go," she says, her voice barely above a whisper, "I don't have the authority, the shelter's policy." Olivia steps forward, her earlier trepidation replaced by a steely resolve. "Policy be damned," she declares, surprising everyone with her vehemence. "These dogs are heroes. They've earned the right to choose their own path." Her words carry the weight of someone who understands the value of a second chance at life. Tom, sensing the gravity of the unfolding story, puts away his notebook. "Dr. Thompson," he says, addressing Sarah directly, "I came here chasing rumors of a cover-up during the 2013 flood rescue operations. But this is so much more than that. These dogs deserve to have their story told." Jack nods in agreement, a plan forming in his mind. "What if we bring them to the command center? They don't have to go into the field. Their experience could be invaluable in coordinating the search efforts." As the humans debate, Max and Bella exchange a look of understanding that transcends words. Despite their age and ailments, there's a renewed energy in their postures. Bella gives a soft whine, nudging Sarah's hand, while Max retrieves his old rescue vest from a nearby shelf, dropping it at Jack's feet. Sarah kneels beside the dogs, her professional resolve crumbling in the face of their determination. She runs her hands over them, feeling the familiar contours of their bodies, noting every ache and weakness. "You old fools," she murmurs affectionately, tears welling in her eyes. You never could stand by when someone needed help, could you? The room falls silent as all eyes turn to Sarah. Her decision now will not only determine Max and Bella's fate, but potentially the lives of those trapped in the flood. The weight of responsibility settles heavily on her shoulders as she looks up at the expectant faces around her. As the group prepares to leave for the command center, the first major obstacle presents itself. The road leading away from the shelter is flooded, cutting off their direct route. Jack's truck, usually capable of handling rough terrain, struggles against the rising water. Sarah, sitting in the passenger seat with Max and Bella in the back, nods grimly. It's risky, but we don't have a choice. Every minute counts. At the command center, a new challenge emerges. The chief coordinator, a no-nonsense woman named Captain Elena Rodriguez, is skeptical of involving two elderly dogs in the rescue operation. Sarah steps forward, her earlier hesitation replaced by fierce determination. With all due respect, Captain, these retirees have more successful rescues under their collars than most of your team combined. They were instrumental in the 2013 flood rescue. The tension in the room spikes as Sarah realizes she's said too much. Tom, sensing a story, steps in. Captain, I'm working on an expose about that very operation. There are questions that need answering, but right now, these dogs might be our best shot at saving lives. As if to prove their worth, Max suddenly perks up, his nose twitching. He pads over to the large map spread out on the command table, placing his paw on a specific area. Bella joins him, her blue eyes focused intently on the same spot. Captain Rodriguez looks skeptical. Those mines were supposed to be sealed off years ago. There's no way anyone could be trapped there. Captain Rodriguez's resolve wavers. Even if you're right, how can we be sure these dogs are up for this? We can't risk more lives on a hunch. In the chaos, Sarah notices Max and Bella growing increasingly agitated. Their behavior triggers a memory. Wait, she calls out, her voice cutting through the noise. During the 2013 flood, Max and Bella had a unique way of signaling when they found survivors. It was a specific bark pattern that could be heard over the storm. Captain Rodriguez, still skeptical but running out of options, reluctantly agrees to let Max and Bella assist from the command center. However, she insists on a compromise. They can help with planning and signaling, but under no circumstances are they to enter the field. Is that clear? As the team prepares to move out, another obstacle emerges. The specialized rescue equipment, crucial for navigating the treacherous floodwaters, is malfunctioning due to the extreme conditions. The rescue teams are forced to rely more heavily on human and canine instincts than on technology. Tom, seeing an opportunity to dig deeper into the story, volunteers to join one of the search parties. I've got wilderness survival training, he explains. I can help, and it'll give me a first-hand account of the rescue operation. Sarah and Jack exchange worried glances. They know the dangers all too well, but they also understand the value of Olivia's knowledge and Tom's determination. Sarah kneels beside them, her heart heavy. I know, she soothes, but you have to stay here. You've done your part. Let the others take it from here. All eyes turn to Max and Bella. Their experience in similar situations could be crucial, but using them means potentially putting them in harm's way. Sarah finds herself at a crossroads, torn between protecting Max and Bella and the urgent need to save lives. The weight of the decision bears down on her as the storm rages on outside. They go, Sarah says firmly, her voice steadier than she feels, but I'm going with them. I know their limitations better than anyone, and I can provide medical assistance if needed. As the team prepares to move out, Tom approaches Sarah. I'm coming too, he insists. This story needs to be told, and I promise to stay out of the way. Within minutes, the unlikely rescue team is assembled. Sarah outfits Max and Bella with their old rescue vests, modified to accommodate their current conditions. The dogs' demeanor changes instantly, their postures straightening as if the years have fallen away. They pile into a rugged, all-terrain vehicle with Jack at the wheel. As they leave the command center, the full force of the storm hits them. Rain lashes against the windows and wind howls around them, but Jack navigates skillfully through the treacherous conditions. Approaching the mine entrance, they encounter their first major obstacle, a massive fallen tree blocking the path. Without hesitation, Max and Bella leap from the vehicle, circling the obstruction and barking in their distinctive life bark pattern. Sarah and Olivia follow the dogs, discovering a narrow gap beneath the fallen trunk. Tom captures the moment on his camera as Max and Bella wiggle through the opening, leading the way. Olivia takes charge, her knowledge of the mine system proving invaluable. There's a network of tunnels that lead to larger chambers, she explains. If people sought shelter, that's where they'd go. Suddenly, Bella lets out a sharp bark, followed by Max's deeper tone. Their life bark echoes through the tunnels. As Sarah begins assessing the hikers' conditions, a low rumble reverberates through the mine. Loose rocks start to fall around them. As they start to make their way out, Max suddenly veers off, barking insistently down another tunnel. Bella follows, her life bark joining his. As the group splits, the rumbling intensifies. Sarah and Jack exchange a worried glance before following Max and Bella deeper into the unstable mine, aware that every second counts in this race against time and nature. The mine groans ominously as Sarah and Jack follow Max and Bella deeper into its labyrinthine passages. Water trickles down the walls, and the beam of their flashlights catches the glint of eyes. Rats scurrying away from the impending danger. The air grows thicker, laden with dust and the threat of collapse. "Max! Bella!" Sarah calls out, her voice tight with worry. The dogs are moving faster now, their life bark more urgent than ever. Despite their age and ailments, adrenaline seems to have given them renewed strength. "It's Derek Thompson," Jack gasps, recognizing the man. "He's one of our junior rangers. Must have come in looking for the hikers." "We need to get him out now," Jack says, moving to lift the beam. But as he strains against it, the ceiling above them shifts dangerously. Sarah looks at Max and Bella, an idea forming. They found their way in. They can find their way out. In that moment, Max and Bella spring into action. With a strength that belies their years, they position themselves on either side of the fallen beam. As one, they begin to push against it, their paws scrabbling for purchase on the slippery ground. As the dogs strain against the beam, Sarah notices blood beginning to seep through Max's fur, his old injuries reopening under the strain. Bella's breathing becomes labored, her arthritic joints clearly causing her pain. Jack manages to grab Derek's arms, ready to pull him free the moment there's enough space. Sarah positions herself to help, all while keeping a watchful eye on the deteriorating ceiling. In a heart-stopping moment, Sarah lunges forward, grabbing Max and Bella by their rescue vests and pulling them back, just as a massive slab of rock crashes down where they had been standing. The chamber fills with choking dust and the deafening roar of collapsing stone. Sarah, coughing and disoriented, stumbles after him with Max and Bella at her heels. The dogs, despite their exhaustion and injuries, take the lead, guiding them through the maze of tunnels as the mine continues to collapse around them. They navigate through narrow passages, squeezing past fallen debris and wading through knee-deep water. Max limps noticeably, leaving a trail of blood, while Bella's breath comes in ragged gasps. Yet, they press on relentlessly, their instincts and training driving them forward. "You look out!" Sarah cries as a support beam ahead of them gives way, bringing down a shower of rocks that block their path. Jack sets Derek down gently and starts to dig at the rockfall, his hands soon bloodied from the sharp edges. Sarah joins him, but it's a futile effort. For every rock they move, two more seem to take its place. "They've found an air pocket," she exclaims. "There might be a way through." In a desperate bid to get help, Max lets out a series of sharp barks, the life bark that has saved so many before. On the other side of the rockfall, the rescuers' shouts become more focused, zeroing in on their location. Just as the opening becomes large enough for a person to squeeze through, there's an ominous cracking sound from above. Sarah looks up to see a massive section of the ceiling starting to give way. Jack hesitates, clearly torn, but the urgency in Sarah's voice spurs him into action. He maneuvers Derek's unconscious form through the narrow gap, then starts to squeeze through himself. Just as the ceiling gives way, Sarah feels herself being shoved forcefully towards the opening. She tumbles through, scraping against the jagged rocks, and finds herself on the other side with Jack and Derek. No! She screams, trying to scramble back through the now blocked opening. Jack holds her back as the rescue team swarms around them, quickly assessing their conditions and starting to move them to safety. It's then that the true revelation hits them. Tom pulls out an old, weathered notebook. "I found this in the command center archives while you were in the mine. It's the missing report from the 2013 flood operation." Jack's eyes widen in recognition. "That's Captain Rodriguez's handwriting," he says, pointing to a signature at the bottom of one page. Tom's expression is grim. The 2013 operation was shut down prematurely, not because of danger, but because of budget cuts and political pressure. They knew there were still people unaccounted for, including Olivia, but they called it off anyway. The revelation sends shockwaves through the group. Jack, his face a mix of anger and disbelief, takes the notebook from Tom. This explains why Max and Bella were suddenly retired after that operation. They must have kept trying to go back to finish the job. As they emerge from the mine into the chaotic scene of the rescue operation, they spot Captain Rodriguez coordinating efforts near the command tent. Her eyes widen as she sees them approach. Tom's camera and the damning notebook clearly visible. But Jack intercepts, his years of respect for his superior warring with his sense of justice. "Is it true?" he asks, his voice low and dangerous. "Did we abandon people in 2013 because of budget cuts?" As the implications of the cover-up sink in, a commotion near the mine entrance draws their attention. To everyone's astonishment, they see Olivia emerging, supporting two limping figures, Max and Bella. The dogs, battered and exhausted but alive, stumble towards Sarah. As she falls to her knees to embrace them, a cheer goes up from the rescue workers and survivors gathered around. Wutil. In the days following the dramatic rescue, the truth about the 2013 flood operation comes to light. Tom's exposé, backed by the evidence from the notebook and corroborated by survivors like Olivia, creates a media storm. The public demands accountability, and an official investigation is launched. Indeed, Captain Rodriguez, facing the consequences of her past decisions, steps down from her position. In a press conference, she admits to the cover-up, expressing deep remorse for the lives affected by her choices. "I thought I was protecting the department," she says, her voice heavy with regret. "Instead, I betrayed the very principles we stand for." The investigation leads to sweeping reforms in emergency management protocols. New guidelines are established to ensure that rescue operations are never prematurely terminated due to budget constraints or political pressure. The story of Max and Bella becomes a cornerstone of these reforms, a testament to the unwavering dedication of rescue animals. Jack, recognized for his integrity throughout the ordeal, is offered the position of chief coordinator. He accepts on one condition, that the department establishes a permanent K-9 unit with state-of-the-art training facilities and veterinary care. Sarah, overwhelmed by the turn of events, finds herself at the center of a movement to recognize and honor animal heroes. She begins working with animal welfare organizations to develop programs that care for retired service animals, ensuring they receive the respect and support they deserve in their twilight years. As the dust settles, the focus shifts to honoring the true heroes of both past and present. A special ceremony is organized to commemorate the victims of the 2013 flood and celebrate the bravery of all those involved in the recent rescue operation. At the heart of this event are Max and Bella. Fully recovered from their ordeal, they stand proudly beside Sarah, Jack and Olivia as they receive the highest civilian honor for their years of service and their recent heroic actions. The sight of these two elderly dogs, their graying muzzles held high, brings tears to the eyes of many in attendance. Ndril, Tom's documentary, which captures the entire saga from the initial shelter visit to the mine rescue and subsequent revelations, premieres to critical acclaim. It not only tells the story of Max and Bella, but also sheds light on the often overlooked contributions of service animals in various fields. The seaside Second Chance Animal Shelter, once struggling to stay afloat, now finds itself at the center of a community-wide effort to support animal welfare. Donations pour in, allowing Sarah to expand the facility and improve care for senior and special needs animals. Ordeal. Perhaps most significantly, the event sparks a national conversation about the value of experience and the dangers of discarding the old guard too quickly. Max and Bella's story becomes a powerful metaphor for the importance of respecting and utilizing the wisdom that comes with age, whether in humans or animals. The aftermath of the rescue and subsequent revelations leaves a profound emotional impact on all involved. Sarah, once considering euthanasia for Max and Bella, now finds herself overwhelmed with gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. She spends countless hours by their side, tending to their recovery and showering them with the love and appreciation they've always deserved. "You two have taught me more about courage and loyalty than I ever thought possible," she whispers to them one evening, her voice thick with emotion. Max rests his graying muzzle on her lap, while Bella leans against her side, their presence a comforting warmth. Jack, grappling with the betrayal of his former superior and the weight of his new responsibilities, finds solace in frequent visits to the shelter. He often sits quietly with Max and Bella, their unwavering spirits helping him navigate the challenges of rebuilding trust within the department. Olivia, whose life was saved twice by these remarkable dogs, becomes a regular volunteer at the shelter. Her bond with Max and Bella grows stronger each day, and she becomes a passionate advocate for senior dog adoption. "Age is just a number," she tells potential adopters, her eyes shining. "These older dogs have so much love and wisdom to share." Tom, deeply moved by the story he uncovered, decides to pivot his career towards animal welfare journalism. He starts a series highlighting the often overlooked contributions of working animals across various fields, with Max and Bella's story as the inspiring first installment. The emotional ripples extend far beyond the immediate circle of those involved. The community, once divided over the allocation of resources for animal welfare, rallies together in support of the Seaside Second Chance Animal Shelter. Local schools organize field trips to the shelter, where Sarah, along with Max and Bella, teach children about compassion and responsible pet ownership. During one such visit, a young girl with a prosthetic leg forms an instant connection with Bella, who's now using a wheeled support for her hind legs. The sight of them playing together, both overcoming their physical challenges, moves onlookers to tears and becomes a powerful symbol of resilience. The story of Max and Bella touches hearts across the nation. Letters and donations pour in from people inspired by their unwavering dedication. Many share stories of their own elderly pets, creating a movement that celebrates the special bond between humans and animals, especially in their twilight years. And Jack, in his new role, implements a program pairing retired canines with veterans suffering from PTSD. The program, inspired by Max and Bella, proves incredibly successful, providing healing and purpose for both the dogs and their human partners. Perhaps the most profound impact is on Sarah herself. The experience transforms her from a veterinarian considering early retirement to a passionate advocate for animal welfare. She starts writing a book about Max and Bella's journey, weaving in the larger themes of loyalty, second chances, and the enduring power of the human-animal bond. As Max and Bella enjoy their well-deserved retirement, their legacy continues to grow, touching lives and inspiring change far beyond the borders of their small coastal town. As the seasons change, The Seaside Second Chance Animal Shelter stands as a testament to the extraordinary journey of Max and Bella. The once struggling facility now boasts state-of-the-art veterinary equipment, spacious play areas, and a dedicated wing for senior animals, aptly named the Max and Bella Senior Suite. On a warm summer evening, the shelter hosts a special event to celebrate the first anniversary of the rescue that changed everything. The community gathers on the expansive lawn, with Max and Bella as the guests of honor. Despite their advanced age, both dogs carry themselves with quiet dignity, their eyes bright with the wisdom of their years. Sarah, her face etched with lines of both joy and contemplation, addresses the crowd. "A year ago, we almost lost these two remarkable souls," she begins, her voice carrying across the hushed gathering. "But they showed us that age is not a limitation, but a source of strength. They taught us that second chances can come at any stage of life, and that loyalty and courage know no bounds." As if on cue, Max lets out a soft, contented woof, eliciting chuckles from the audience. Bella, not to be outdone, adds her own gentle howl to the mix. The event culminates with the unveiling of a beautiful mural depicting Max and Bella in their prime, racing through floodwaters to save lives. Beneath it, a plaque reads, "To Max and Bella, heroes beyond measure. May their story inspire generations to come." As the sun sets, casting a golden glow over the shelter, there's a sense of completion, of wrongs righted and lessons learned. Max and Bella, surrounded by love and admiration, have not just found their forever home. They've created a legacy that will endure for years to come. As the celebration winds down, the impact of Max and Bella's story continues to resonate. The Seaside Second Chance Animal Shelter has become a model for animal care facilities across the country, with its innovative programs for senior and special needs animals being widely adopted. Sarah's book, Second Chances, The Max and Bella Story, becomes a bestseller, inspiring readers worldwide to look at their aging pets with renewed appreciation and love. The royalties from the book go towards establishing a foundation that supports retired service animals and promotes senior pet adoption. Brain Jack's Canine Veteran Program expands nationally, creating a network of support for both retired service dogs and veterans in need. The program becomes a shining example of how animals and humans can heal each other. As for Max and Bella, they spend their days basking in the love of their extended family at the shelter. Their legacy lives on in every life they've touched, every policy they've changed, and every heart they've opened. 5 years later, a young girl leads her family into the Seaside Second Chance Animal Shelter. She stops at a beautiful memorial garden where two bronze statues of a Labrador and a Husky stand proudly. "Are these the famous Max and Bella?" she asks Sarah, now grey-haired but still vibrant. Sarah smiles, her eyes twinkling. "They are, and let me tell you, their story is far from over." As you've witnessed the extraordinary journey of Max and Bella, remember that every animal has a story waiting to be told. Consider opening your heart and home to a senior pet. Visit your local shelter, volunteer, or donate. Share this tale of courage and second chances with others. Together, we can create a world where every animal, regardless of age, finds love, respect, and a forever home.